welcome to Knitting Needles and Stems. I'm Carrie, I'm the host, and today is Sunday, July 27th, 2025. This is episode 14, and today I'll be talking about works in progress, finished objects, knit-alongs, my patterns, and gardening. So let's just go over a few things before we get started. I do have a Ravelry group where you can come and talk about the episodes with me. The name of the group is Knitting Needles and Stems, and right now we're at 19 members, and I'm hoping that number will grow a little bit. So come on over and introduce yourself, and if you do, I can give you a shout out, or if you don't want me to mention your name on the podcast, that's fine too. Just tell me not to, and I won't. Other announcements, not really an announcement, but what's been going on. My youngest daughter went to Camp Shatek a couple weeks ago now, and she stays there for a whole week. She learns a lot. It's a church camp, and she really enjoys her time there. And they had a really good time. They played a lot of games, did a lot of swimming, and her team didn't win, but she looks forward to doing that every year. And while she was gone, my husband was actually gone in a fishing tournament with one of his friends. It's a 9-day long fishing tournament on Lake Michigan, and they stay down in the central part of Wisconsin while they're doing that fishing tournament. And it was really quiet in my house. It was just me and my oldest for a whole week, and it was nice and quiet for that week. So it was nice to have everybody home. So let's just jump right in to works in progress. The first thing I've been working on, and this has been going literally everywhere with me, is my Musselburgh by Azalea Teague. For this one, I'm using Knitology Sheen in the Titmouse colorway and Beach Bunny Yarns World Traveler in the Espresso colorway. So here is what I have. I've finished all the titmouse here, and I'm working on the Beach Bunny World Traveler, but I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of this before I finish because my ball is really little. So I'm gonna go as far as I can, and then I'll decide what I need to do, because I would like for the straight section to be at least as long as the straight section on the titmouse so that it can be folded up and have a quadruple brim when it's worn, if you want to wear it that way, or you could wear it as a slouchy hat. So this is the Musselburgh by Azalea Teague using Knitology Sheen in the Titmouse colorway and Beach Bunny Yarns World Traveler and Espresso. And I'm pretty sure he changed his base. He's not using the World Traveler base anymore, but the colors are still his colors. So all right, the next thing I've been working on, and this one actually went to a doctor's appointment for my oldest daughter with me. It was an all-day doctor's appointment. It is the Summer Mesh Sweater by Susan Frick. And for this one, I'm using Hemp for Knitting Hempton in the Marine colorway. So sorry for all the clanging. That's my needles on the table. So here is what I've got. It is, the whole body is finished, and you can see I've got almost a whole sleeve finished here. I'm actually on my last skein of the yarn. I had 4 skeins, and I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough to finish a full length sleeve on the other side. So what I'm going to do, I've finished all the decreases on this sleeve, and I need just a little more length to make it a full length. So I'm going to make it the full length. I'm going to put it on scrap yarn instead of binding it off. And then I'll do my other sleeve and see if I have enough to make the full length sleeve on the other side. If not, then I will adjust the length on both sleeves to however long I can make them and use up all of my yarn. So again, that is the Summer Mesh Sweater by Susan Frick, and I'm using Hemp for Knitting Hempton in the Marine colorway. And this is just going to be great to wear over a tank top in the summer. It's so nice to work on in the heat because it's cotton and hemp and modal, and it is not hot. It's not like having wool on your hands when you're sitting in a 80-degree room. So it's just really nice. Okay, next I've been working on my Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer. This is a pair of socks that I'm using the Biscotti Yarns Bis Sock in the colorway 190708. So I've done the first tier on the first sock. You can see the fun pattern that it makes. I have some red and white stripes here, a solid blue with more solid blue up here, and it's just so fun. And then I just only have the cuff on the next one. So I do my socks in tandem, two at a time on separate needles. I'll do the cuff, and then when I'm done with the leg on this one, I'll do the leg on this one, and then the heel, the foot, the toe, the toe. So, and this yarn it's really soft. I've never used the Biscotti yarns before, and I really like working with it, and I need a pair of socks for every holiday, right? I mean, who doesn't? So these are the Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer, and I'm using Biscotti Yarns Bis Sock in the colorway 190708. I've also been working on the secret project that I talked about a little bit last time. I'm hoping by 2 weeks from now, I'll be able to tell you what the secret project was and show it on the podcast. But until then, it's still going to be a secret. I put 2 rows on my Euhedral dishcloth by Joyce Fassbender. For this one, I'm using Knit Picks Dishy in Lilac Mist. And it really doesn't look much different than it did last time. I got a couple of eyelets here that started the pattern, and then I sat it down yesterday and went and did something else. So that is the Euhedral dishcloth by Joyce Fassbender using Knit Picks Dishy in Lilac Mist. Let's see what's next. For July, the gnome that I decided to make because I'm participating in the Year of Gnomes in the Imagine Landscapes group. This month I'm making Frederick Fungi by Sarah Shira. All of the patterns are by Sarah Shira. She is Imagine Landscapes. And I'm using Claudia Hand Paints Yarn Addictions and Cherries. And Quince and Company Finch and Twig. And here is the body of Professor Fungi. He just needs his nose, his beard, and his arms, and he will be done. This one is smaller than some of the other gnomes that she's designed, and I think he's going to be adorable. I just really love mushrooms, and I really love gnomes, and putting the two together, you can't ask for anything better. So, she calls for a 2.5-inch disc out of cardboard for the bottom of the mushroom cap. And I just printed a 60 millimeter, I want to say 60, it might have been 70. Whatever the conversion is to millimeters. It was 5 millimeters smaller than what she suggested. And it worked just perfect for the bottom of my mushroom cap. For Frederick Fungi by Sarah Shira, using Claudia Hand Paints Yarn Addictions and Cherries, and Quince and Company's Finch and Twig. And then I worked on my counted cross stitch. You guys are going to be so proud of me. I finished the whole section where I was working, which was here. And all of that section is filled in. I have to do the finishing touches with the outline, but that will be the very last thing that I do. So I've moved back to the section that I had worked on previously, and I'm going to fill in all my rocks here. And then I'll work my way around. I've been working on this Every Tuesday, I work on my counted cross stitch, and I don't knit. I don't do anything else. I just work on my counted cross stitch. So that is coming along great. Still gonna be quite a while before it's done, but that is the counted cross stitch is The Day's End by Judy Gibson. And this one was given to me by a friend. I think the whole kit was given to me. I don't think she had started it, but it's been so long that I really honestly can't remember. So that one is fun, and it's getting there. I've also been spinning. I don't have any finished skeins to show you, but I've worked on both the yarn for my husband's sweater that is from the sheep from one of my coworkers in the accounting office. He has sheep that he has insulated his house with their fleece. He's thrown away a lot, and I thought it was a relatively soft fleece, and I bought a whole fleece from him for $20, and I processed it myself. And I'm thinking, when I'm working on it, I'm thinking I need to wash it some more because there's still quite a bit of lanolin in there. So I'll probably wash the rest before I card it and spin it up. But I've got almost a whole bobbin of that done. And I've also been spinning my Dakota carding and wool bat that I got. And it's Cormo, BFL, and Firestar in the colorway Carnival. And it's mostly white with blips of lots of different colors, orange and green and blue and pink. And it's just really fun to watch it spin up. And I've got almost a full bobbin of that also. I'll probably, with my husband's sweater yarn, I'm going to spin all of it and put it onto smaller bobbins to hold it until I have the whole fleece spun. And then I will probably do a 3-ply yarn with it. But doing it that way, because it's taken me so long to do it, will help even out the skeins, because my spinning can change, you know, throughout time, especially with having long breaks in between. But with the Dakota carding and wool, I'm going to fill up, it should be 2 bobbins worth. And then I'll decide if I want to Navajo ply or chain ply. That's my favorite way of plying, and it produces a 3-ply yarn. Or if I want to just do a 2-ply with the 2 bobbins. So I'll decide. I'll decide later. I don't have to decide right now. So again, I've been working on the yarn, spinning on the yarn for my husband's sweater from the fleece from my coworker, and the Dakota carding and wool, Cormo, BFL, Firestar, and the Carnival colorway. Now let's move on to finished objects. I only have 4 little things to show you. The first is my Australian Red Cross Trauma teddy bear. This one is made for a charity, and I have not decided which charity I'm going to be sending my new bears to yet, but I did finish. Last time I think I just had the legs in the shorts maybe, but here he is. This, I named her Sophie, because in the bears group that I'm in, we are doing literary bears, and Sophie was the character in the summer book that I just finished reading or listening to, an audiobook. And I thought it would be perfect to name her Sophie after the character in that book. Again, that's the Australian Red Cross Trauma Teddy. And that is by, oh goodness, I'll put who it's by on the screen when I put up the pattern, because I don't have it in my notes for some reason. And the next thing that I finished is actually for a birthday party. I made a little shark. Here's the shark. I've already gifted it to it was for a 5-year-old. He likes sharks, so I got him the shark. I got him a shark book, a sticker book, a shark sticker book, and a shark t-shirt. which I know they're not the most fun gifts, but they're pretty practical gifts for the little guy. And we've already had his birthday party. He opened it and he liked it. So this is the Dolphin Shark Whale pattern by Rena Morgana Art. And I just used leftover gray and white yarns. I have no idea what fiber content they are, what brand they are, or anything. They were just in my leftover drawer downstairs. So then I had my steeking appetizer for the Knitting in the Loft group for the color work KAL that we're doing. I actually showed you last time the pieces when they were unsteeked, and I tried 3 different steeking techniques for these pieces. So the first technique that I tried was the single crochet reinforcement. So these 2 pieces here were reinforced with a single crochet, and you can see I use the same color as the yarn that I was using because this is the wooliest leftover yarns that I could find. So that was the single crochet reinforcement. Then I tried the slip stitch crochet reinforcement for these 2. Well, yep, they go this way. The slip stitch reinforcement. Then I did the hand sewn reinforcement, and I actually used a contrast yarn for that. You can see the contrast yarn in there. You just make sure that you go into the actual legs of the stitches for this kind of reinforcement, because you want to make sure that that's not going to come undone. And lastly, I tried the sewn reinforcement, and I used black yarn because in theory this should, if you were going to make this into a sweater or any kind of project where you're going to actually be steeking, this will then roll over and you'll add some kind of edging to that. So that was my steeking appetizer for the Knitting in the Loft Summer Color Work KAL. And the last thing that I finished is another teddy bear. This is the Izzy Teddy Bear Dolls by Esther Braithwaite. And for this one, you basically knit a tube and sew it together, and then you use stitches to make the legs, the arms. You do add the little ears on by picking up stitches on top of the head. And I found this yarn when I was I'm moving my craft room. We're doing a little moving around of the rooms here. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, but I had to move the stuff in my craft room, and I found a bag with a sweater in it that I had taken apart probably at least 10 years ago with the intention of making something out of it. I don't even know if I had a plan for what to make out of it, but, and this is the yarn. This is one of the sweaters. There were 2 sweaters. This is one of them that I took apart, and I thought it'd be perfect for teddy bears, especially since I don't know what I was going to use it for. I think it's cotton yarn, and I mean, it's just a little fun sparkly teddy bear. So I'm going to have a lot of bears with this color fur coming up. So this is the Izzy Teddy Bear Dolls by Esther Braithwaite, and I'm using recycled yarn. So that's great. So that's all the finished objects that I have for today, and let's move on to knit-alongs. The first knit-along that I'm participating in is in the Mama Jess Knits podcast group on Ravelry. This is the Summer Sock Knitting KAL, and it runs from May 24th to August 31st, 2025. So the end of this one is coming up. We got about a month left. I have a couple pairs of socks on my needles that'll be used for this KAL. I need to cast on some more socks because I need more traveling projects that I can just take with me. My Mistleborough is one that is really good for just sitting and socializing at different places while I'm working on it, but I need I need more things like that I can just take with me, have with me to work on. So I'm thinking socks are really easy. So that's the Mama Jess Knits podcast, and it's all socks. You can enter any socks. She asked if they are adult size socks, but they can be short socks or long socks or, you know, whatever adult size socks you want to make. And that runs from May 24th to August 31st, 2025. The next knit along that I've participated in is in the Project a Month KAL group. And for July, we've only got a few days left of July, but for July we were doing the summer mesh sweater by Susan Frick, which I showed you mine earlier. Not sure if I'll be done with it in July, but I should be pretty close because all I've got is a little bit of one sleeve and then a whole other sleeve to do, and it knits up really fast on those US 15 needles. So, and that's the Project a Month KAL group. For July, we're doing the summer mesh sweater by Susan Frick. Then there's the Knitting in the Loft group, and we are doing the Simply Stranded 2025 Loft Summer Challenge and KAL, and that is from June 1st to September 1st, 2025, and it is a color work KAL. So you can join in, you can do some of the appetizers that I've shown you. Color Dominance was one, Ladderback Jacquard was one, and then Sneaking was one. And then we have a fun way of entering your main course projects to get multiple entries into the prize drawing. And there's a grand prize Google form where you can fill out. And if you use all the colors of the rainbow, for every color you use, you would get an entry. And if you use all the colors of the rainbow, it'll give you an extra entry into that grand prize. So come on over and join the fun in the Knitting in the Loft group for the Simply Stranded 2025 Loft Summer Challenge and KAL. Then there is the Yarniacs podcast Ravelry group hosting the Colors of Fall KAL. The Colors of Fall are Pantone colors for the London and the New York palettes. And it's called the Colors of Fall because they have the knit along in the fall, but it includes all the palettes, summer, spring, winter, and fall for New York and London. And that one runs from June 1st to June 20th to September 22nd. Sorry about that. 2025. And you can use any craft, and as long as you see a color that is in one of the palettes, even if you have to squint, it accounts for the KAL, as long as it was started and finished within those dates, June 20th to September 22nd. So again, that's the Yarniacs podcast group, Colors of Fall KAL. And the last craft along that I'm doing is in the Craft Cook Read Repeat podcast group. And I participate on Ravelry, but they also do it on Instagram. And it is bingo. And for bingo, I've already have a few bingos, and they have squares for reading, squares for crafting, squares for cooking. And I'm working on my coverall. I'm pretty sure I have all of the cooking squares. I still have a couple of the reading squares I have to do, and a couple of the crafting squares that I have to finish in order to get my coverall. And that one runs from May 23rd to September 1st, 2025. And that's the Craft Cook Read Repeat group, or podcast, that hosts that. Now, let's move on to my patterns. I'm still working on my new shawl. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer, which is their cashmere base, in Bare Necessities, Krampus, and Poison Apple. I'm hoping to have the sample finished by the end of August, so hopefully I can get it into testing by September and have the testing done in time to have it released at the beginning of December. But I may have to wait till next December. We'll see how everything goes with that. Okay, let's move on to gardening. For gardening today, we are outside of my house again in the backyard. We're going to talk about my flame azalea. This one was inherited when we bought the house. Not really inherited. It came with our house when we bought it. And it gets these beautiful flowers every spring or summer. And I really always called it a stick flower because it's mostly sticks. Just sticks with flowers and little leaves. So the azaleas like consistent moisture, partial shade, and acidic, well-drained soil. It's perfect for here in northern Wisconsin because we have a lot of sand. You can see here a lot of sand in our soil. So this is our azalea. We don't really do anything to it. It stays outside of our house. It's planted in the ground and it just blooms every year on its own. So that's all that I have for you today. Until next time, keep doing what you love. Bye.